All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, this weekend series between the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers could be a playoff preview, and for good reason, as both of these two teams have won the last two World Series titles, while they've also met in the NLCS in each of the last 2 years. But overshadowing this weekend series in Atlanta was the return of first baseman Freddie Freeman. Now, for 12 years, Freeman was the face of the Braves organization through playoff disappointments, a rebuild, and ultimately the franchise's first World Series title since 1995. But at the end of the day, what Freeman got for his trouble was a kick in the pants as Atlanta decided that Matt Olson was going to be their starting first baseman going forward. And this one is tough because you think about what Freddie Freeman meant to this Braves team for so many years. You're talking about a guy that he ranks third all time on the franchise's list in doubles, sixth in homers, seventh in hits, seventh in runs scored, ninth in games played, and tenth in part runs batted in. I'm sorry, seventh, and then 10th in runs scored. But Freeman, we saw him receive his World Series ring on Friday night, and he was trying to fight back the tears, but to no avail. As you know, the fans really embraced his return, and on top of that, Freeman embraced the return. As he was a guy who simply did not want to leave. Braves general manager Alex Anthopoulos decided to go in a different direction. At the end of the day, he was not the guy who drafted Freddie Freeman. And, he felt more comfortable with Matt Olson going forward. And yes, Matt Olson is a solid first baseman, but make no mistake about it. Sometimes you have to factor in the intangibles. And Freeman is a leader. Freeman was a guy who did his part to try to hold that locker room in check and show them the brave way, so to speak. On top of that, you think about Freeman. Freeman embraced everything that this franchise was about, and you know what he loved. Playing down there in Georgia. Putting on the uniform for this team and representing them off the field. You name it. And the thing is, he was one of those guys that was going to do whatever it took to win. And you can't put all of that into a category and just say, hey, you know what? Well, I'm going to look at the stats, I'm going to look at the analytics, and then I'm going to go with this guy right here. Doesn't always work like that. And for me, it's unfortunate because it seemed like a slam dunk that the Braves are going to take care of their business in house and keep Freeman. Freeman is a guy who should still be on an Atlanta Brave. And then on top of that, he's a guy who this should have been the only uniform that he wore for his entire career. Now, coming to the present, you're talking about a guy in Freeman entering play today, is hitting more than 300 once again. 8 home runs, 45 runs batted in. And, he's a guy, he's been a solid contributor for the Dodgers this season. And I think he's going to continue to be a solid contributor for the Dodgers. And of course, he has the potential to have an impact for the Dodgers should they make the postseason, which I expect them to do. For me, it's one of those like this. At some point, it's going to come back and bite the Braves in the derriere for not re-signing Freeman. Yes, you still have talent on this team. Yes, the Braves are poised to once again make a run at the championship, but sometimes those intangibles have to be factored in. And letting a guy like Freddie Freeman go is not one of those things that you want to put under the category of, a good baseball decision. So right now, things are looking good for the Braves, but at some point, they will regret not keeping number 5 in their uniform. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.